As I told you, there are 5 ring forts. This, archaeologists will tell you, was the most important one. It was defended by the warlord himself, and the other 4 were his serfs. It was defended in such a way that it's a double valeted one. The archaeologists, being the experts, will tell you that this was a defended, fallback position. We were on the outer defence line of Tara. It was as if they had an exclusion zone.
Okay.
12 miles from Tara, and that's where we are. There would have been an approach. Let's say it could have been this. Most probably was. It was filled with water. That was a moat. Then you had to rise up, get in through this access door here where a large stone or a boulder would have been placed. It was being defended at this stage, so you were either going across with their wishes or you were going to attack it. Now, you were going to hit a heavy wooden door at this stage, and then all around there was a wall of stone up to about 2'6", and then large heavy timbers driven into that. So you had another 8 foot of a height on top of that. So it was a big controlling situation. That it was a fallback position. That when the others had retreated here, this was it. You were up against it, so you had to defend it. Children would have stones, trained with great accuracy. That was their big job. They would throw stones. They were never going to throw away their weaponry. If you threw a weapon, that was it. But to go to the far side, I don't know how many buildings would have been on this. Maybe anything up to 4 or 5 families may have shared it. But I have, this is as it is. It's about, this one is aged about, I think 400 AD. That's the dating on it.
400 AD?
Yeah. The other ones actually go back to maybe 150 BC. That's the far side of the farm.
Yeah.
This is the most northerly one, and the other 4. When they're triangulated, they're on the points of the compass, which is very curious. They lay them out as per north, south, east, west. They were obviously farmers and wanted to know what time of the year it was. Obviously plant. They planted by the moon, actually.
As New Grange would be, and as, you know, also different ring forts around there.
Absolutely.
I am the Druid Chef. Welcome on this fantastic journey of Celtic.
I went out to the Hazelwood, because the fire was in my head, and I cut and peeled a hazel wand and hooked a berry on a thread.
Welcome and fáilte to another cooking innovation of the Druid Chef. I'm in County Meath. I'm in a place called Rathe House that has a lovely Celtic mud hut, all the ring forts and all the actual Celtic mystique involved to it. And that's what they've invited me up to cook today. I've started the fire, I've my pots in the pans, and what are we going to be cooking? We're going to do the lovely braised beef, all rustic style, the garlic, the herbs, all that nice vegetables, cooked in big berthas on the stove. They're ready to go. And look here on my board, what I have is a nice sirloin of beef, the back loin of the beef, and that will cook very, very nice. I need to do a little bit of work, and let me get my knife into action, just scoring this beef here. Then I'll take a little bit of the fat off, and all that will go into the pot. And I need to infuse, as I was saying, some herbs and also some nice flavours. So what have I got there? I have my garlic, and I'll get some nice herbs here, some rosemary, and a little bit of thyme just to tie into that. Now, my little chefy skill, as I would say, will be to tie this up, and that's what I'm going to use, the string. That will give it a nice binding. It will secure all the herbs for the flavours, and then I have my nice Celtic salt just to season that up. So a little bit of string. Just going to put it here on the beef. Get a nice little loop there, then loop that over again. And loop it again. Then just a final loop, and then I'll cut a nice little piece of string just to bring it back. And that will secure the actual beef when it's in the pot roast. Also, I'm going to thread some nice herbs all along that, flavour with the garlic, and then we're going to season that nicely, ready for the cooking. So just the last little knot. Then I just get some herbs, and I just loop them in with the actual string. And during the cooking, what will happen there is that the beef, when it's on its back, will start getting all the juices of the beef straight onto the herbs, and that will then infuse into the meat, giving a lovely rustic, herby, Provençal flavour, Celtic. All that's going to happen in the pot. Okay, just get my garlic. Break that up. And then I just get some little cloves that I'll cut in half. Enough for the beef. And again, just inserting all that in. All my garlic. Okay, all these trimmings here will be going in the pot. Also, I'm going to chop a little bit of vegetable, add that to it, and get these lovely flavours going. Now, what I was saying about my seasoning. I have the salt, I have herbs, I have a little bit of paprika. Also, I've got some cracked pepper just gone in there. And that is my Celtic salt. That is, rather than just the salt and pepper, I have a nice fusion flavour ready to season all the meat. So that will go on top there. And then I just turn that over. Give it a nice dash there of all that. And that will be working in the pot. All that salt, that is the magnesium of the ground, I keep saying. The pepper, the cracked pepper, very, very hot in its contents, but also will add the lovely flavours. The herbs, provincial herbs, we can't do without them. And then the little ingredient there from the middle of European Celtic land, the little bit of paprika, just to give that a hint of a nice mix. Okay, so that's our beef all ready for the pot. I'm not going to peel my carrots, I'm just going to give them the mirepoix, as we'd say, or the rough style chop. So that's the carrots done. Again, roughly cutting the actual leek that will go in. So the onion just down in half, then down like that, cutting it across. And the reason I'm not peeling those is, you know, they're not going to be ate. They are just a basic flavour going into the actual pot, the pot roast. They're going to roast and they're going to secure the meat with all its lovely juices and all the flavours of the aromatic context. So just the last thing into the bowl. I'm here beside the fire. It is hot. Things are really hotting up here, and that's the way I love to cook. I have Big Bertha on there. I just add in a little bit of oil into Big Bertha. Lovely. You can see there it's running away. Excellent indeed. Remember, I've seasoned my beef. Shh, do you hear that? Shh, do you hear it? That's going to give me my bien doré, my golden brown. I'm going to seal that off, then I'll move the pot back. But once I've sealed that off, I've got my rustic vegetables ready to go in, start getting this dish cooking, get all those lovely flavours going. And that's what's so exciting about just outside in the land vision that I would call, you know, the rustic flavours, the feeling of earthy movement. And that's what I'm looking at here when I'm out in this lovely Rathe house estate that we have the Celtic house just behind us. We have our wolfhounds, we have all the lovely greenery, we have the animals of the farm, everything like that. And it just gives me a great feeling when I'm cooking there. And straight away I can do as I do in a normal kitchen. I have my heat source, I have my pots and pans, I have the ingredients and that. So we get that over, just let that go like that. So you see there we have bien doré, golden brown. That's what we're looking at, sealing all the meat, getting ready for the cooking, and then I'll pull that aside once I have everything into it and we'll get all the lovely juices going. Right, just onto the herbs. Excellent indeed. And this takes 2 or 3 minutes, there's no problem there. And that's what you do at home if you're doing a pot roast. Seal your meat, get your vegetables ready. I'm doing it outdoor, unique as it is. All the fire flavours are just coming through. Lovely smell, the aromas, all that happening. And that's happening on Land Vision food. Okay, we let that for a minute or two. Then I'll get some juice into that. And then we will let that lid on it and let it start cooking slowly as I pull it away from the massive heat that we have here in the fire. Okay, just a little final seasoning. I'm going to pull over my pan, just a little bit of seasoning there of the sea salt. I have some jus, or my little bit of stock and gravy, so that's just going in. Do you hear those lovely sounds when you actually, you know, induce the actual sauce into the pot? It is cleaning all around those juices. It is embracing all the flavours in the pan already. It is getting settled, ready for the lid to close. That's what I'm just going to do now. And we need to complement this dish with something, again, Celtic, rustic, flavoursome, unique as well, as we go on every single shoot and we try to bring a different flair in cooking as they did long ago in Celtic past. And I'm not a fan of just using the potato all the time, and that's what I try to create, different Breton laws, using the porridge, the barley, all that kind of grain food of old as a complement to the nice protein product, whatever I'm actually cooking. So what am I looking to do? I have barley here. I'll just bring in to focus, lovely barley. Also we've pinhead porridge, and then we have the oat flakes, very nice as well. So all that is going to be prepared. So I need to just do a little garnish on that. So that will be some onion, and I just give that a nice little cut. And all I need is a little bit of onion here, so we do a nice little chopping job on that. Very nice indeed. Get all those lovely pieces done. Okay, that's done there. Then I peel the carrot. So again, we're getting all these nice colours into it. And that's what culinary art is all about. Bringing the flavours, the colours, you know, looking at food that is appetising, and also being able to talk about the food and give a little underpinning knowledge, as I'd say myself, giving the actual story or the source of where it's come from. So now we're doing our carrot, so a little bit of chopping there. So that's our carrot, so we just line all that up. Very nice indeed. And then one thing that I love using is beetroot, and let me just cut this and let me just show you. Look at the Celtic rings in that, and that's what I'm looking at, the Celtic rings. You know, it gives me just great inspiration just using, you know, the actual product of old. And again, I'm not just peeling it, I'm just using the skin as well, and I think it deserves its place in this pot. Now, to enhance on this, I need to get a little bit of herbs. So with me today I have my little bit of rosemary, some parsley and thyme, just picking out those few little pieces there, getting all them working nicely. And that's very, very important when you're cooking, you know, that you know your product, that you know what the result is going to be, but you know what you're putting in. In cooking, you only get out what you put in, and if you put in rubbish, you get out rubbish. So what we're looking at here is fresh ingredients, colours, textures, we're looking at flavours, we're looking at the cooking mechanism, we're looking at the history of the food. All that equals good cuisine. So a little choppy. Now, just breaking all that down. That's ready. Then the last thing that I want to get is just a little clove of garlic. So I just get the knife like this, down it goes, and then a little chopping there to start it off. Now just get in my salt. Now, and I'm crushing this garlic, I'm breaking the rock salt into it as well, and then also I'm making a paste. So if I bring this down to the board here, then with this side of the knife you just go like that, making the nice paste, and then that's all ready for our pot. So that's our ingredients ready for our barley and oatmeal risotto, as I would say. We're just going to get ready to go over to the fire again and get all those ingredients in the pot. Okay, back to the fire, ready for this cooking of the lovely barley risotto, and that's what we're looking to do. Get our oil and our butter just in there, very nice. Then I want some onions and carrots, very good too, just get those. Now behind me I have my barley. Just get the barley in there, very nice. And then my little wooden spoon just to get that cooking. And this will take around 20 minutes just to really get those flavours through it. It will be in synchronization with the beef. So by the time this is ready, the beef should be ready and be ready to put all that lovely Celtic ingredients on a plate for your eyes only. Okay, a few more ingredients in there. The beetroot, that will give a lovely ruby colour, just going in. Let that take its place. Then I have some little bit of pinhead porridge, and then I have my water just going in at the moment. And then later on I'll add a little bit of chicken stock that I have with me to really infuse all those nice flavours. Now look at those colours coming. And what's very attractive about outdoor cookery is, you know, we're on the open fire. There's nothing hidden here, you know. It is as it is. You know, the smoke is coming in my face, the heat I can feel, but it's a great, great feeling. And just to see how people long ago they cooked, you know, as we said, the pan cooking of old, the pan Celts, as they roamed this land, they set up their fire, they had their cooking equipment with their Celtic skills, and then they did their pancakes or your pan cookery or your spit cookery of old for the tribe. And that's what we're trying to create here on the programme, you know, to go around Ireland to seek out the hidden Ireland. And that's where we are today in Rathe House here in County Meath. We're in the hidden Ireland, a lot of things happening here, great values, great history and great cooking. I need to add a little meaty flavour, and that's my chicken stock. So chicken stock just going in there. Very nice too. Loosening it up again, and let's go cooking. Also in the pot here, and the camera's been focusing on that, is the milk. And what has milk got to do with this? Well, I have a little bit of milk in there with a little seasoning. Just going to add some lemon juice into that. That will curdle. Don't forget, a little bit of lemon juice in there. Let that boil away, and you'll see in a minute or two what I'm going to do with that. The other exciting thing that I have here is our cabbage, and that's our red cabbage braised. And as I was down the road there, I got some lovely damson jam, and that's how I'm going to finish this off to go with our beef, our lovely red cabbage with damson jam, giving a lovely sweetness. But what have I got in there? I have some apples, I've got some nice red cabbage, I have raisins in there, I have brown sugar, a little bit of vinegar, also I have some cloves in there, and I have the flavour of pork just going through that. So that will be very, very nice indeed. So I'll let that come up to the boil. A minute or two, I'll just add in the jam, and that will really congel or finish off this lovely red cabbage. I have some milk there that I just, after adding lemon juice, I'm going to add some Celtic salt into that, and then I'll strain that off, and that'll be my cottage cheese that I'm just going to finish the risotto off with. And that's unique as well. Remember the old monks of old over in Switzerland, the Irish monks that went there, they taught the Swiss how to make cheese, and that was with their milk in their bags, going up the mountains on their donkeys. The heat and the whole movement of the milk turned the milk into cheese, and then the whole revolution of cheese started going. I'm just doing a simple little dish here, using the milk and then separating the curd from the whey, and then getting that back into my risotto. Also, I was talking about the lovely red cabbage, and I just add that jam that I was talking about, the lovely damson jam, get that in there, and those are lovely sweet flavours sorting in. I'll just take one or two little juniper berries and one or two little cloves, and they are the lovely gamey flavours or meaty flavours of old going into my red cabbage. And again, when you're eating this and you get a little clove there, you know that you can really bite on that and get all those flavours coming through. We have it in hot whiskey as well, you know. So that's that nearly ready. I'll just have a look now at my milk. You see the milk there, we have the curd from the whey. I'll just get my little strainer here, and I'll move that over. And that's all I wanted. Now, and that's what I want. I want the curd from the whey. I have it in there. I'm going to add that to risotto with nice herbs that I chop into that, and I'll finish off the risotto dish. Little cheese, simple recipe, just adding a little lemon juice into the milk, boiling it, separating the curd from the whey, and then seasoning it. You have a thing called cottage cheese. All right, I've removed everything from the fire. I have it here secure in front of me. Just going to finish off a few little tricks, and then we're going to start plating up this wonderful beef dish with the barley risotto. So I need to get a little bit of nutmeg, and nutmeg again from our Middle Eastern ancestors. Then I have some nice herbs just to go in there, and also we're looking at our butter and also our cheese, our fresh cottage cheese just going in there. We have to look in the pot and see what's happening with our beef. Wow, I can smell those lovely flavours just hitting my nose. There is our beef. Okay, little samples there. Everything that we cooked, it's on the piece of meat, like a little canopy. Iris is just going to taste it now and see what her view is on this nice Celtic beef dish. There you go, Iris. Have a little piece of meat with all the barley and also the red cabbage, and those three flavours go very, very well together because you're looking at the starch factor from the actual risotto, the barley, the oats and all that, giving you the carbohydrate. Also you're looking at the beetroot, and also you're looking at the actual herbs and onion and carrot that we've put in there, and then finish it off with a little bit of cheese. Unique again, doing cottage cheese a la minute on the minute into the risotto, and that gives it a nice finishing touch. Then we had the red cabbage, giving the sweetness of the damson jam, and our lovely pot roast beef. You had a little taste. What do you think of that?
It's delicious.
Delicious. Delicious is the result there. I knew from the beginning it was going to be delicious because we have top ingredients, we have top product, and also we had a very hot fire there, giving us the power of cooking. Finished the dish, as we were saying, the beef that we braised, the lovely red cabbage, and also the barley, all that Celtic wave coming through the food. And here I have Brian Carvey from Rathe House, and he's the one that invited us up today. Thank you very much indeed for bringing me to such a unique area.
You've been very welcome, very welcome.
And tell me the history of the mud hut and all the estate, all the Celtic influence that you're bringing to it.
Well, we can boast actually 5 ring forts on this farm. Very unique in that essence, right back to Stone Age times, and we're literally engrossed in the Celtic. We are the outer defence line apparently of Tara, so I mean, as far as history goes, we're immersed in it, and I've always been very interested in the Celtic way. The mud hut you see, or the clay hut you see, that actual soil is in the ground here. That's actually in the ground. You dig it up, and on the outer, you need a good summer obviously to develop this. You use willow branches inside, you curve them, and then you finish it it takes about 3 or 4 days to put on a skin, and you continue adding to it, and then on the inside, as you'll see later, it's lined with sheepskin or sheep's wool. I shear for my sheep here. This is really warm, a nice little place, so it's a special place for people to come and to be able to relax.
What kind of game and all would you get around this area?
Well, I should say the place teems with pike. 2 large lakes in the vicinity. You can see why they would have come here to settle here on this farm, or on this region. I believe a small part of the O'Neill clan were left Connacht and then settled here. The Galinga, they were a warring tribe, a rather dangerous people. So they obviously didn't have far to go for food. You had pike, then you would have had wild boar, wild deer. The place was teeming.
Yeah, fantastic, fantastic. This is very exciting. We're in the mud hut, fire in the centre. We have the hole in the top to take out the smoke. It is a little smoky. We're going to try cook an omelette, and an omelette cooked in 30 seconds. A Celtic omelette, a little omelette fermier, the farmer style or the Celtic style. It is the ingredients that they have in the locality. So what have I got? I've got a little bit of oil just to go into my pan there. Sizzling again. We have some leeks, some carrots and some onions. A little bit of butter there just to rustle that up. Cooking off the vegetables, that's very nice indeed. I have 4 eggs in my bowl there. A little bit of Celtic salt. Remember the rock salt I was talking about, the cracked pepper and the herbs and a nice little paprika. So in that goes. Very nice indeed. Getting all those flavours. Washing around all the pan. Getting all that sorted out. Very nice. Let that omelette just gather itself, coagulate, and then set up. So I just keep moving it a little bit there. Very nice indeed. And what I need to do now is shape that up a little bit just to get myself organised. So I just get the pan, give it a nice little shape. Another little bit. So that's nearly ready. And then we'll just place that on our Celtic plateau. Then I'll get my lovely Celtic skewers and bar mark that with a nice Celtic design. Now just to bar mark our nice omelette, give it the as I keep saying, give it that lovely Celtic design. You see here we have our Breton rock. Now we have our Celtic omelette, bar marked with our lovely Celtic design. In the farmer style, done in 30 seconds on my Celtic plateau in the mud hut here in Rathe House. What a wonderful experience it has been.
It actually came true today. The whole thing has been worthwhile. put quite a bit of thought and work into it, but to have you here today and to produce this, it's really the icing on the cake.
That's very, very tasty, you know. Been absolutely brilliant today, just cooking outside.
You're a brilliant cook.
Well, thank you very much indeed. But, you know, it's bringing the food to the people and the people to the food. And what about bringing the people here to your place? How do people get in contact with Rathe House?
Well, the magic of the internet.
Yeah.
Rathehouse.com.
Rathehouse.com.
will get me.
I enjoyed the day cooking, you know, here in Rathe House, you know, with our lovely Celtic mud hut. Also the cooking of the open fire, and also the energy that I felt here while I was cooking. I enjoyed it immensely. You know, it is one thing just to go out in the land, go out in the open and get all those ingredients and start cooking. It's a feeling of cultural art, culinary art, and also the colours of the food coming through.
I went out to the hazelwood, because the fire was in my head, and I cut and peeled a hazel wand.